Mecha Talk is a series of videos that covers mecha-related topics. For this video, we'll be covering the origins and abilities of the Mazinger Z from Mazinsaga. Joining me in this video is Felipe from Canal Kyodai, a Spanish YouTube channel that covers video games, movies, comics, and manga. He previously helped me with the research on Mazinger Zero and has been very helpful with the research on Mazinsaga.
Hi there everyone, Felipe here. It's awesome to finally be able to tell you about the almost unknown story for this Mazinger iteration. This is easily one of Go Nagai's most obscure and underrated works.
With that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Mazinsaga is a seinen manga written and produced by the legendary Go Nagai, who is best known for his work on Devilman, Cutie Honey, and Mazinger Z. Mazinsaga would combine the characters of Mazinger Z with that of the dark themes of Devilman, thus creating a very interesting take on the story of Mazinger. The manga consists of 6 volumes and they were published in Weekly Young Jump during the period of 1990 to 1992. The story of Mazinsaga begins in the year 1999 and tells the story of Koji Kabuto, a university student and the son of a famous scientist. One day, Koji's father collapses and he seemingly dies as his body mysteriously disappears. Before his death, Koji's father had witnessed a vision of the future where Earth was riddled with natural disasters and nuclear wars. In order to help Koji survive in such a future, Koji's father created the mysterious helmet known as Z, and it is revealed that he had died due to providing the helmet with his own spiritual energy.
The helmet is made of a material known as Super Spiritual Material Z, which can give the user the powers to surpass the physical realm, though it ultimately depends on the spirit of the user. After trying on the helmet, Koji is transformed into Mazinger Z. Unlike traditional incarnations of Mazinger Z, which are mainly giant robots, this new Mazinger is a bioarmor that can alter its size and contains untold power capable of rivaling that of the gods. After transforming, Koji gains the ability to be omniscient and receives a vision of his girlfriend being brutally raped by gangsters. Koji's intense anger causes Mazinger to not only savagely kill the rapists, but also causes Mazinger to go berserk and transform into a demon. Mazinger eventually destroys the entirety of Tokyo in a blink of an eye.
After destroying Tokyo, Koji leaps a few months into the future to find that as a result of destroying Tokyo, the whole world was thrown into chaos and suspicion. This eventually leads to World War III, and Koji is saddened by his actions, as well as disgusted by humanity's nature for conflict. Koji can only cry to his father for help, as his feelings causes Mazinger to once again go berserk. Eventually, due to Koji's actions, the Earth is completely poisoned and irreparable due to the numerous nuclear weapons fired during the war. Left with no other option, mankind has no choice but to spend the next few decades migrating to the planet Mars in order to survive. Unfortunately, a man would uncover the gates of hell beneath Mars and awaken the demons within. This man would be transformed into God KAISER Hell, Dr. Hell's counterpart in this story. God KAISER Hell would use his scientific knowledge to transform the demons into cyborg bio-beasts and unleash his forces onto the human colonies on Mars.
To atone for his sins, Koji decides to travel to Mars in the year 2120. With new resolve, Koji is determined to protect the last remnants of humanity from the forces of God KAISER Hell. During his time on Mars, Koji encounters familiar faces from the Mazinger series, such as Sayaka Yumi, the reincarnation of his deceased girlfriend, and the pilot of the Aphrodite A. Tetsuya Tsurugi, a highly skilled lieutenant in the human army who fights with his modified motorcycle. Duke Fleet, an alien survivor from another world, and a fighter jet pilot in the human army. Last but not least, Boss, a delinquent who decides to change his ways and join the human army after witnessing the courage and power of Mazinger. Boss eventually makes his own giant robot in the form of Boss BOROT, which is composed of spare parts.
With the help of his allies and the power of Mazinger, Koji will wage a long war against the armies of God KAISER Hell. When God Kaiser Hell gains information on Koji's helmet, he used Super Spiritual Material X to create a copy of the helmet. God Kaiser Hell's grandson, Akira Fudo, would wear the helmet and transform into Devilman X. This is a clear homage to the main protagonist of the Devilman series, who also goes by the name Akira Fudo and has the ability to transform into Devilman. However, before Mazinger Z and Devilman X could do battle, Go Nagai would put the series on indefinite hiatus after the release of the 6th volume. Till this day, the story has yet to be properly concluded. Due to the gravity of Mars being 3 times weaker than that of Earth, Koji is a lot stronger and faster than the average human. Despite not having any formal combat training, Koji has shown high proficiency in combat and is able to fight off large groups of enemies with just his bare hands. Against larger and more experienced fighters, Koji isn't afraid to fight dirty in order to win. In addition, he can tap onto the power of Z and create a barrier to protect himself from harm. After joining the global human army, Koji undergoes military combat training and gains even more proficiency in combat, to the point that he can fight off entire groups of enemies with just a single handgun.
However, Koji is still only human, and wearing Z will put a strain on his mind and body if he is overtaxed. Koji can also be killed by conventional means if he is not careful. For example, he was once poisoned by an assassin and nearly died. While his body was incapacitated, his spirit journeyed back in time and revisited the horrific day when he had first became Mazinger. Koji's spirit was defeated, and even when wearing Z, he could not transform into Mazinger to remove the poison from his body. Thankfully, with the support of Sayaka, Koji is able to regain his spirit and once again transform into Mazinger to heal himself.
When Koji first wore the armor, he was guided by the spirit of his father, whose soul was being held within Mazinger. Koji's father taught Koji the basics of the armor, and after Koji arrived on Mars, the spirit of his father lost consciousness and faded away. When wearing the armor, Koji does not need to eat, as the armor will provide him with all the energy he needs. This allows Mazinger to even operate in space with no issue. Mazinger's power circuit is tied directly to the 7 chakras within Koji. Based on Hindu tradition, the 7 chakras are centers within our bodies which allow energy to flow through freely. If a chakra is blocked, it could lead to the sickness or imbalance of the body and mind. When Koji is able to control all 7 chakras, he will be truly one with the armor and gain the ability to use powers comparable to that of a god.
However, to use the armor effectively, the wearer needs to breathe and concentrate accordingly. Due to Koji's resentment and overwhelmingly negative feelings towards those who harmed his girlfriend, he wasn't able to control Mazinger in his first attempt wearing the armor. This turned Mazinger into its demon form and resulted in the destruction of Tokyo. As such, to fully control the armor, one must reach enlightenment and put away all nefarious feelings. If Koji gets distracted and is unable to concentrate, Mazinger is capable of being damaged and even bleed. However, as Koji's battle with the Biobeasts on Mars escalated, he gained more control over the chakras, and Mazinger only grew more powerful as a result.
When Koji gained full control over Mazinger for the very first time, he gained pupils and was capable of shaking the entirety of planet Mars just by powering up. With the power of Koji's will and imagination, Mazinger is capable of bending the very laws of time and space. Mazinger comes equipped with a red cape and can fly at supersonic speeds. If he needs to go faster, Mazinger can transform his cape into wings and fly at even greater speeds. If the need arises, Mazinger can teleport itself and others to different locations. However, it can surpass all of that and fly so fast that it is able to instantly travel a few years into the future. In addition, Mazinger can open holes in space to travel hundreds of years into the future. And with Koji's strong will and spirit, Mazinger is impervious to most attacks and can instantly heal from all wounds.
When battling the Biobeasts, Mazinger can choose to alter its size and mass. It can even use this ability in combat to avoid attacks as well as overpower enemies with sheer size alone. Due to Koji's prowess in hand-to-hand combat, Mazinger is able to overpower most enemies with simple melee attacks. Mazinger is capable of using iconic attacks like the Rocket Punch to take down enemies. From its mouth, it can unleash the Rust Hurricane attack to cause its enemies to rust and break down. From its chest, it can melt enemies by firing the Breast Fire attack, and with the Mazinger blade, it is capable of cutting down any enemy as long as Koji believes in the strength of the sword. Also, Mazinger can launch his arm with the Mazinger blade attached to strike down multiple enemies.
With the power of imagination, Koji is able to transform the Mazinger blade into a gun and use it to shoot down enemies both in the air and on the ground. He can then transform his gun back into a blade to once again fight at close range. From its hands, Mazinger is capable of generating thunder, fire photon beams, and even create tornadoes. In addition, Mazinger can even shield itself within a thunder tornado. When discharging his photon beams at full force, Mazinger can not only annihilate enemies on the ground, but also penetrate the atmosphere of the planet and travel into space with great force. With his mastery over energy, Mazinger can absorb energy attacks to power itself, as well as redirect energy attacks back at his opponent. He can even overload his opponents with his unlimited energy, causing them to blow up.
Overall, Mazinger is as strong as Koji wills it to be. It has shown the ability to single-handedly destroy entire armies of Biobeasts, as well as demolish entire battleships like they were nothing. However, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the true power of this Mazinger. If the story had continued, it's possible that Koji would have eventually fought the advanced armies of the Vegans as well. The Vega fleet was the one responsible for invading Duke Fleet's home planet and likely had forces that were far stronger than the Biobeasts. Regardless, the Mazinsaga version of Mazinger is truly a powerhouse, and one can only imagine how much stronger it would have become if Go Nagai had continued the manga. Despite being discontinued, Mazinsaga's influence can clearly be seen in other Mazinger works, most notable of which is the 2009 Mazinger Zero, which pays homage to various ideas and scenes seen in Mazinsaga. In 1993, a game based on the manga was developed for the Sega Genesis by Almani Corporation. The game was titled Mazinsaga Mutant Fighter, and its story was rather different from the manga. The game's story takes place in the year 1999, with God Kaiser Hill sending his armies of Biobeasts to invade and dominate the planet Earth. Using the bio armor created by his father, Koji would transform into Mazinger Z and battle the Biobeasts with his Mazinger blade.
With its fluid animation and challenging gameplay, Mazinsaga Mutant Fighter managed to offer players a very unique gaming experience. The first 5 levels of the game are divided into 4 parts, with the first 3 depicting Mazinger as human-sized and fighting against equally sized Biobeasts and Tetsukamen grunts in a side-scrolling hack-and-slash style similar to that of Golden Axe. The 4th and final part of a level is a boss fight against a gigantic Biobeast, and Mazinger will grow in size to battle the boss in a manner similar to that of a traditional one-on-one fighting game like Street Fighter. Level 6 of the game is a boss rush against previous bosses in different color palettes, while the final level of the game is a boss fight against Hell Mazinger, an evil version of Mazinger created by God Kaiser Hell.
After defeating the Biobeasts, God Kaiser Hell's army was forced to retreat. However, the damage had already been done and the Earth was beyond repair. In the year 2016, the people of Earth started migrating to Mars, but they would yet again have to face the forces of God Kaiser Hell. Thankfully, Mazinger is there to protect humanity and continues his war against the Biobeasts.
And with that, we have come to the end of our video. We hope you have enjoyed this video as much as we had fun making it. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like what I do, and do leave a comment giving some ideas or topic suggestions for future Mecha Talk videos.
Thank you so much, dude, for having me here, and to all of you who have enjoyed this video. If you happen to be a Spanish speaker, please come and see my channel Canal Kyodai for retro game reviews and much more. Take care, guys!